Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today. Just flew in from Las Vegas. State Senator Dallas Harris joins us here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday, trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Pro Group Management offers workers' comp services to a growing number of industries. As businesses grow and change with the times, the need for a solid workers' comp program must be flexible and up to date. The evolving nature of regulations can make staying ahead of complex tasks challenging. But Pro Group Management simplifies the work so your industry can move forward and succeed. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we are delighted to welcome in studio one of my favorite guests, State Senator Dallas Harris of District 11. Thank you so much for flying up specifically here to Reno to do this show. It's great to have you here.
It's my pleasure to be here, Sam. Thanks for having me.
All right, so the first thing that you said to me was you're thinking about buying an EV. Okay.
That's right.
I bought one a few months ago. What are your thoughts? Why do you want one? What are you thinking?
Oh, well, tired of filling up my gas tank, to be honest. We also are looking at putting some solar panels on the house, and why not go ahead and just install an EV charger while we're putting the solar panels on, hoping we can lower our energy cost. We need a second vehicle anyway at this point in our lives. My wife and I, we've got two kids, a 2-year-old and 11-year-old. There's basketball, there's taekwondo, there's daycare, there's school. So a second car is needed, and we're looking at an EV, see if it'll work for us.
So let me share some of my concerns that I have learned over the last year.
Yeah.
One is, because I bought it primarily, my wife drives a gas truck, so we're covered in both directions. It's great for driving around town, but it makes me a little nervous when I go out of town. Even to, like, we went to North Lake Tahoe, and it's not that far, but I put it on 100% charge instead of 80% charge. There was only one charging station in North Lake Tahoe, and it was a level 2 charger, so it took like 45 minutes to charge from 75% back up to 100%. It makes me nervous. I'd like to drive to Winnemucca, but I don't know if there's a charger there. Friends went to Lovelock, charger didn't work. The Wall Street Journal did a story on chargers in the Los Angeles area that are not Tesla chargers, I should point out. Tesla seems to be doing just fine with their chargers, but for everybody else, it seems to be an issue. What's the feedback you've been getting?
Well, I think what you're describing is something that a lot of Americans feel. They put a name to it, right? It's range anxiety. And that's very real. It's also my understanding that coming up soon here, Tesla will be adding adapters so that more folks who don't necessarily drive Teslas will be able to tap into their network as well. And so it's only going to get more reliable. We also still have a gas-powered vehicle that we might be able to use for those longer trips if we're worried, or we could consider taking some of those savings that we have on filling up our gas tank on that second vehicle and rent a car if we want to go out of town and go long distances. I think there'll be a couple options. Right now, we will probably just use it mainly for in-city driving. Like I said, the kind of chores, the running around, the errands of the day.
And it works really great for
city.
That's
Yeah.
what we're doing, and absolutely no problem. Level 2 charger at the house takes care of it in a couple of hours each night. It was interesting to read that Dodge Ram is going to have a car that has a huge mileage for the CAFE standards. But the reason it's going to have that is it's a hybrid. It's going to have a gas tank that helps to charge the engine. And it seems like that's a way around for the auto companies to be able to have electric cars, but also maintain them with gas. Do you think that defeats the object of the exercise in terms of clean energy?
Well, I definitely think hybrid is a step in the right direction from a fuel gas tank, right? Clearly it's not as clean as an electric vehicle would be, but there's no question in my mind that it's definitely better than just a fully gas-powered vehicle. And for some folks, everybody's got to make the decision that's right for them if they're not quite ready to move all the way to an EV, but a hybrid sounds like it might work for their family. It's great that they have that option.
All right. Staying in the car theme here.
Okay, sure.
F1, what did you think about all the stuff that went on prior to it, the construction, employees having difficulties getting to work, to the race itself, which seems to have been a huge success for the gaming companies and businesses on the Strip? Your thoughts?
Construction sucks. Traffic is a bum on anyone's day, right? Nobody likes that. And folks do have to be able to get to work. And from my understanding, hopefully no one was fired in the meantime by not being able to get to work. It was just a really large inconvenience. I think as the event comes back time and time again, we'll get better at that type of thing. I am happy to hear about the great paydays that a lot of our dealers saw, and some of those folks who had to deal with the traffic trying to get to work every day. Hopefully some of those dollars made it directly into their pockets. Casinos are making tons of money, and that's great for them. It's great for their employees, and it's always nice to see that kind of come back to the state, and hopefully we can reinvest that in the folks who put up their time and their space to put this event on. Las Vegas is a unique place. You will only see a Las Vegas style F1 in Las Vegas. I think we showed the F1 crowd what we can do and what Las Vegas is about, and hopefully as the years go on, the process will only get better. And we'll continue to see more and more folks coming to our beautiful city.
You know, it was funny to read the comments of the driver who eventually won the F1. And he was pretty derogatory in terms of, not that he was derogatory about Las Vegas, but he said it was more an event of Las Vegas style rather than about the F1 racing. By the time it was all over, he seemed to be the biggest cheerleader.
Well, the way Las Vegas works is we combine entertainment with Las Vegas style, right? You don't come here and be successful and do something the same way you might do it in Tulsa, Oklahoma, or any other number of cities across the country, right? So you come here, you do it the Las Vegas way, you do it big, and you'll see big returns, both for entertainers and for the fans. Las Vegas knows how to do that well, and it seems like F1 is learning how to do things the Las Vegas way, and is seeing some return on that, as well as the city seeing a bit of return. So I'm happy to see that.
The other thing that was interesting was the timing of the culinary to get their contracts. I'm guessing that you were pretty pleased with the results of that, because it certainly seemed like the casinos realized they had to share the wealth.
Well, I think unions across the country are on a tear right now. They are, whether it's the auto workers, again, culinary union here in Nevada, they're seeing big wins, right? They're making sure that those folks who are seeing big profits are in fact sharing it with the laborers who help generate those profits. And that's something that has been missing, I think, in our economy for a while. So I'm really happy to see SAG-AFTRA, to see the Writers Guild, to see Culinary, to see UAW, and all these other really strong unions getting strong wins, not just for their members, but for all workers, especially in those sectors where we see strong unions operating.
Yeah, it certainly has been. 2023 has been the year of the unions.
It sure has.
In the ones that you're describing there. Although it was interesting that the broadcasters and movie studios actually made more money when the strike was going on because they didn't have to pay all this money out during that time, but eventually that will come back. One of the other things that I thought was interesting, because obviously, I mean, I think everybody around the country has read about this. The traffic was horrendous in Las Vegas during the whole construction period and actually during the event. Just getting to the Sphere, which is the hottest new entertainment venue in Las Vegas, a lot of people were saying, boy, I wish the monorail had a stop at the Sphere or at the Venetian. And if you go back to the beginning of the monorail, both Wynn and Las Vegas Sands didn't want to have anything to do with the monorail because they thought it would bring lower class people. It's funny that now there's a deadline, this thing is going to end within a decade because the equipment isn't available anymore, and yet people are now saying, hey, monorail.
Monorail. Yeah, we've got to find a way for folks to be able to quickly get up and down that Las Vegas Strip, right? We've got so much packed into that area that people are going to want to be able to move, a good 2 miles in any given day, right? And we need to figure out how we're going to make that as easy as possible, whether that's monorail, whether that's making it safer and more accessible for folks to walk those distances between casinos and experiences. We're going to have to try it all.
Hang on, have you done
I
that?
have tried.
Holy moly.
It is quite a bit of a walk, especially when the sun is beating down on you.
For anybody that's never done it, don't, because it looks like those buildings are really close, and an hour later you're still crossing across Caesars to get to the next property, and it's not pretty. Do you think, because it seems like there's been a long delay in the Boring Company being able to continue building out their properties. I understand Westgate is next for having a station. Are you comfortable that the Boring Company is going to make it work for, I think it's 158 stations, something like that at this point?
Oh, wow. I mean, look, I am happy to see all ideas kind of explored, right? Because as we were just talking about, we need a solution so that folks can move around. And the Boring Company has a very unique idea that has gone from concept to actually some actual cars moving. So let's see how far they can go and what they can deliver. We can talk about different ways to get from the airport down to the Strip.
Do you think that's ever going to happen with the taxi industry?
We will just have to see. I'm not omniscient, but we'll see what the Boring Company comes up with and what they propose to the Clark County Commission. If something can work, we're going to give it a shot. And if it can offer value to our visitors and to our residents and to the folks who work in that area, then we're going to try it and see what can come of it. We're not naysayers in Las Vegas. We don't tend to be. Otherwise, I don't think you'd see the Sphere, right? You just mentioned that it's the biggest, newest attraction in Las Vegas. I would dare to say it's the biggest, newest attraction in the world at the moment, right? And that's how we tend to do things in Las Vegas. We think big. Not everything always plays out, but we're gonna be innovative and see what we can do for our folks.
It's interesting. The Mayor of London has turned down the concept of having a Sphere in London. Big mistake. Big mistake. That would be a huge redevelopment project for them.
Well, I am not going to dip into the,
Right.
the politics of London, and to be honest, I really don't know much about their economic development factors and what drives London. I know they have a big money center there, kind of like our Wall Street. And they've got the London Eye and very cool things, but London is not Las Vegas. And so what works for them what works for us may not work for them. I'll leave it up to the mayor of London to decide.
Maybe that's their new slogan. London is not Las Vegas. Let's take a break. We'll be right back with State Senator Dallas Harris after this timeout.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org. Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
I'm Mike Swanson, and welcome to the Winnemucca Big R.
Hi, I'm John Walker. Welcome to Big R Lovelock.
Hi, I'm Rich Martin. Welcome to Fallon Big R.
My name is Braden. Welcome to Big R Fernley.
Hi, I'm Kelly. Welcome to Big R Sparks.
$200,000 Cars and Cash giveaways at Carson Valley Inn. Cash and prize drawings Thursdays and Saturdays. Plus, win a 2023 Ford F-150 or we'll pay you cash instead. Don't miss your chance to play and win. Cars and Cash at the Carson Valley Inn.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with State Senator Dallas Harris of District 11. So it's never too soon to start talking about politics. What do you think about the fact that we have presidential candidates, most likely one of 81 years of age and one of 78 years of age? Do you think that we should put an age limit at some point on who can run for president?
I think we did. In the United States Constitution, we've got a lower limit.
Yeah, we have a lower limit.
We've got a lower limit. And if someone wants to propose a constitutional amendment to take us to a convention to put an upper limit, I mean, that's a discussion we'll have to have at that point. But I don't think that's seriously what anybody's proposing to put on the table, right? The voters are the check on that. And
but what's the choice? I mean, when look, you know, somebody was on the program the other day and they said, you know, the point is whether the person, it's not the age, it's whether the person can do the job. And so I think that that's a valid point as well. But I have lots of friends who are in their 80s. I love them to death. Some of them are still working and they're doing a great job. I just don't think they could be president.
Yes, that's fair, but I don't know your friends. That doesn't mean they could have been president when they were 60 or 50 either, right? And, you know, it's not up to me to determine what the right age is for a particular president. We don't want one who's too young. He needs to have life experience. You want him to have executive experience and a chance to have worked with the legislative branch and X, Y, and Z experience here and experience there, right?
So you like governors? No, I'm not saying a specific one, but I mean, to me, a former governor or a current governor has executive experience, and they've dealt with legislatures. It seems like that's a more appropriate training ground for somebody to be president
than the legislative branch. You're talking to somebody who's coming from the legislative branch.
Well, I'm not. I'm just saying that you're on the track. If you're in the legislative branch, it's the same direction. You're used to executive type decisions.
What I'm suggesting is that we often criticize folks who are too young because they don't have enough experience. And then simultaneously, we're putting up this upper limit of folks maybe who have, too much life experience to be president. I just don't know. It's not up to me to decide what the sweet spot is. That's up to the voters. The only qualification for president, as I think it should be, is that you are of the proper constitutional age and that the folks elect you. You put yourself forward. There is a very rigorous political process here in the United States of America. And if you go through that process and the folks elect you, you are in fact the president of the United States. That's the process, and I trust it.
It just seems, that the money plays into it significantly. And if you don't have the money, it's a lot harder to be able to get the name out there. There's been decisions made certainly on one side in this election cycle. A lot of conversation, but clearly a leader on the other side. But it's a huge industry. People talk about, let's take the money out of politics. You'd put literally millions of people out of work.
You sure would. And look, Sam, if you want to have a deep conversation about money in politics, we can absolutely do that. But I don't think that conversation is necessarily tied to the age of political candidates.
No, and I would agree with that. All right, let's take another break, and we'll be right back with State Senator Dallas Harris after this timeout.
The casino industry drove Nevada's economy for decades. By the 1990s, however, the state's sole industry was in sharp decline. Many were losing their homes, many were leaving the state. Is Reno on track to be the Detroit of the West? Was an October 2010 Reno Gazette-Journal headline. Nevada knew it was time for a change and a time to diversify. Story County took that lead, took risks, invested tens of millions transforming its desert into a place of opportunity and a future for Nevada families needing something new. That desert now provides thousands of high-paying tech, advanced manufacturing, and energy careers at companies like Tesla, Panasonic, Google, Switch, and Redwood Materials. Story County transformed northern Nevada forever, and the tide of opportunity has raised all vessels through construction contracts, high-paying careers, and the power of payroll. Tens of millions have been generated in sales and property tax, permits, and other revenues for Reno, Sparks, Washoe County, and for all of Nevada. Enough, in fact, to generate a surplus after public services are provided. And best of all, a sustainable economic climate has been created, enabling our children to stay in Nevada and live prosperous lives in their home state. Story County, improving northern Nevada one industry at a time.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the heat back on today. Call us today and we'll fix it today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why freeze for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your furnace fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
'Tis the season for the Holiday Cash Express at Tamarack Casino. We're trimming the tree with weekly cash giveaways, including a $5,000 winner every Saturday, plus $70,000 in grand prize stocking stuffers, including two $15,000 Holiday Cash winners guaranteed. It's a good time to win at Tamarack Casino.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with State Senator Dallas Harris, Democrat of District 11. One of the things that's coming up is this ranked choice voting. And I've done this analogy on this show multiple times, but I'm sure there's at least one person who hasn't heard this. When I go on an airplane and I'm on a long flight and the flight attendant comes over and says, "What would you like for dinner?" And I say, "I'd like chicken." And they say, "What's your second choice?" I don't have a second. I want a chicken. When it comes to elections, I want to have a candidate that I want to vote for. I don't want to have to go to second, third, fourth, fifth. It's hard enough to get people to vote to begin with. Now we want to make them think beyond the choice they made when we know elections are decided in the last couple of weeks by people who go, "Oh yeah, next week is an election. Who's running?" What do you think?
Yeah, I think that the ranked choice voting is an experiment that is still waiting to see what kind of results that are put out there, right? I mean, we've got very few states that have implemented it. I think Alaska is the most kind of prominent one that we've heard of recently. And we'll see. Proponents of it seem to believe that it will lead to more moderate candidates. I don't know if the data quite yet reveals that. But Nevadans will have a chance to put their voice forward and decide if this is something that they want to do. One thing that I think you are absolutely right on is that we do not have enough people voting. And anything that will discourage folks from voting is definitely going to be a problem.
What do you think about open primaries? Because you've got such a huge number of independents now. You mentioned, more moderate choices. I'm not sure, people should vote for whatever they want.
Sure.
But open primaries would allow all those independents to have a voice now.
In any primary that they'd like, right? I mean, so open primaries that's a tough one, right? I think again that's going to have to go to the Nevada voters for them to decide. I think there are lots of independents, as you mentioned, who feel like their voice is not heard. However, the idea of someone who is not maybe a member of your political party coming in and having a voice as to who your political party's candidate will be can make some folks feel a bit uncomfortable. And I get that.
But right now you can change your registration and vote for whoever you want anyway.
Sure. Yeah. Look, no system is perfect. I'm not suggesting that what we've got now is perfect or that open primaries would fix everything. The question is which one is better, right? And I don't know if I know the answer to that, and it's not my decision. That'll be up to the people.
Always love having you on the program. Thank you so much for doing this, and especially flying up here for the show. I know you had to get up at dark 100 to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, you got it.
And we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
7 at 7 is a newscast built for your smartphone. It's a 7-minute newscast available every weekday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. at lvrj.com. We don't waste your time, and we give you the day's top stories.
We at the RJ have noticed some similarities between us and a certain BTS character, RJ.
Plus the latest in Las Vegas business, weather, health, and entertainment news. 7 at 7 streaming now on your smartphone.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers. You can catch us online 24 hours a day at nevadanewsmakers.com, or you can download the podcast wherever you like to get your podcasts. We'll see you on the next broadcast.